Hello everybody and welcome, I am Brickaboom, and we're gonna wrap up the last of the Johto evolutions running through this game. We've already seen Espeon, who's able to play the game quite well, but can Umbreon do the same? I think out of the two, Umbreon is definitely more popular due to how stunning it looks, and it's got a pretty cool shiny design too. It's got really good defensive stats with both special defense and physical defense, with HP not too far behind. Its attack and special aren't the best, so the likely outcome is that most battles are going to be a slugfest. For our ability, we have Synchronize, so if we get dealt a status condition, depending on their type and ability, we'll likely deal it back. And for our nature, it further raises our special defense but lowers our speed, which honestly is fine. With a base speed of 65, Umbreon won't be winning any races. As a quick reminder of the rules, we can only use Umbreon in battle, though we can and will be using other Pokemon outside of battle. Items can't be used in battle, but they can be used outside of battle, and we do allow for rare candies, mostly to prevent hours of grinding. We do end up giving the rival Charmander, because it's a pretty tanky Pokemon, but unlike Venusaur, it's not going to need to turns to charge up on an attack. So with the rival battle, we immediately begin tackling, get a critical hit on the second tackle, and then take it down with the third. So pretty easy peasy. There's some beginning game travel both through the route above and the forest itself. Now, do you remember the problem that we had with Vaporeon? Remember how it had a great HP pool but not so great attack stat? You remember how we kept losing in the forest because of how quickly poison damage can stack up? Well, the good news is you don't have to remember because it's absolutely happening here. But with a little bit of grinding on wild Pokemon, we are able to level up some and then finally make our way through the forest and then begin doubling back to the rival to face him in the optional fight. The rival first sends out Pidgey and we send out Umbreon and open with Tackle as it uses Sand Attack. We bring it to Yellow as it begins tackling. We take it to Red and then take it out next turn with 38 HP to our name. Last up is Squirtle, and we start by missing Tail Whip, but it misses Tackle. We connect with a Tail Whip and get hit by a critical hit Tackle. We Tail Whip again and then get hit with Tackle once more. We manage to take it to a little above half before getting hit with another crit. We tackle it to Red and then get taken to almost half before we take it down for the win and move on. When it comes to Brock, we find ourselves in a situation where we can't take down the junior trainer until we level up. We have to get to level 16 so we can learn Pursuit just to deal with him, especially given the fact that he likes to Sand Attack and Defense Curl repeatedly. While Pursuit is a very weak move, it deals neutral damage, and when we challenge Brock, it takes Geodude to Yellow as he Defense Curls and then we can take him out. Next up is Onix, and we continue with Pursuit, but this time we get a critical hit, and that takes it down to let us win the battle. With Brock out of the way, we're able to go ahead and start moving on, and let me tell you, after having the level cap we were constantly fighting with the Water Nuzlocke, it feels good to battle carefree again. I love Nuzlockes, and I enjoy doing them, and hopefully you like them too. While we go through the cave, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and in the comments below, tell me what you're doing for Halloween, especially if you're dressing up. If you do decide to dress up, we have a pretty active Discord community where people share their holiday pics. I'm probably going to pass out candy with one of my mini stream hats, or I'll be looking heckin' fierce in my Princess Peach dress. The journey through the cave is a pretty simple one, and I'm fairly certain I can navigate it blindfolded by now if I would need to. Upon entering Cerulean City, we go to fight the rival again with some evolved Pokemon. Pidgeotto's first, and it uses Quick Attack as we open with Pursuit. We use Pursuit again and take it to Yellow as Gust connects. Then it uses Quick Attack and crits as we finally take it out. Next up is Rattata, and we use Pursuit to take it to low Yellow as it Tail Whips. Then we get tackled, but tackle it ourselves and take it down. Squirtle's next, and we swap to Pursuit, doing about a quarter as he crits. We Pursuit again, and he tackles and crits again. We Pursuit it to Red as he Water Guns us before we can finally take it out. Last is Abra, but Abra can't attack, so it's an easy end to the battle that we kept getting crit in. From there, it's time to go to the bridge to the north and free Bill, and after that, we can fight the Rocket to at least make sure we have Dig before heading to fight Misty. Staryu is first, and we hit with Pursuit to take it below half as it hardens, and another Pursuit takes it down. Starmie is next and nails us with Water Pulse as we use Pursuit to take it below half. Water Pulse does hit again, but without the confusion, we're able to attack with no problem and take it down for the victory. After that, it's not too long of a journey for us to make it to the ship. While the first gym was a bit of a problem, we're not facing too much of an issue now, so rather than focus on getting any items and level ups, we can go ahead and make a straight rush to the rival. Typically, when I go through long stints of battling the additional trainers, I distract myself with Master Chef, so battling additional people is bittersweet. It takes more time, but at least I get to watch some fun TV. But you're probably hear about the battles rather than listening to me ramble on with stories about MasterChef. Pidgeotto's first, and we open up with Pursuit, taking it to about half as we get quick attacked. We quick attack as it quick attacks, and we take it to yellow, then we take it out. Raticate is next, and we hit it with Pursuit. Then we dig as it misses a Hyper Fang, and we take it out. Kadabra is next, and I'm pretty sure it won't be able to hit us at all throughout the entirety of this run, and we take it down pretty easy. Wartortle's last, and we can take it to about a fifth of its health as it withdraws. Pursuit takes it to half as it continues to hide in its shell. Another Pursuit, and then a Water Gun hits, and then a final Pursuit takes it out, and that's that. After RNG is an absolute jerk, we take out the optional trainers in the gym, and then it's time to go ahead and test our luck against Surge. Surge sends out Voltorb, and we get hit with Shockwave as we dig underground, taking it out in a single shot. Next up is Pikachu, and we continue with the dig strat since we know it deals a lot of damage and we could take it out in one shot. Raichu starts off by double teaming, and we hit it with Pursuit for not so much damage. We do get paralyzed off static, but paralyze it in return. Surge does heal up with a full heal to cure paralysis as we dig. Unfortunately, we spend the turn paralyzed, but next turn we try again, and despite the additional double teams, we do manage to take it out, and that's the third badge. Now, this is where the game is going to begin to open up. We can either go to Erica, Giovanni, the Tower, and if we want, we can also get some upgrades. I have a preferred order, but at the end of the day, it's entirely up to you how you go ahead and do this. So with that preamble out of the way, let's go ahead and see how we do against Giovanni. Giovanni starts with Onyx, and we've learned Feint Attack and Shadow Ball, thanks to the lottery, along the way. Feint Attack does about a quarter, it misses Rock. Feint Attack does about a quarter, it misses Rock Slide as we dig and it hardens. We take it to yellow as it misses Bind, then we take it out. Rhyhorn is an easy two-shot with Feint Attack. We begin pinging the Kangaskhan, mixing back and forth between Feint Attack and Quick Attack, and while it is attacking, since our defense and special defense is so high, we can brush off most of the attacks it sends to us, so it's only a matter of time before we do take it down. And with Giovanni out of the way, we remember to go to Erica and fight the few additional trainers required before challenging her. Erica first sends out Victory Bell, who immediately goes down to a single critical hit Shadow Ball. Tangela's next, and we take it to about half as it sets up Ingrain. We take it out next turn with another Shadow Ball. Last is Vileplume, and it's looking like a 4-shot as it does land a Stun Spore, but due to Synchronize, we can return the favor. Erica uses a full heal. We stay paralyzed and get hit with Giga Drain as we manage to take it to yellow. Erica heals up, and we have to battle through paralysis and the fact that Vileplume is regaining its health. We do eventually get a special drop, and that's actually what allows us to finally take it out and let us move on. With Erica out of the way, the next portion of the game should be somewhat easy, but let's see how we do against the rival battle in the tower. Pidgeotto's first, and we take it to red with Feint Attack as it hits a weak gust before we quick attack it. Growlithe is next, and we send it red with Shadow Ball as it only manages a weak Ember before going down. Execute doesn't stand a chance given its typing, and that goes down to a single Shadow Ball, and the same can be said about Kadabra. Last up is Wartortle, and we take it to half as it hits a small water gun, and we take it out next turn. Wrapping up the tower nonsense, it's time to do our laundry list of Cycling Road, Fuchsia City, the Safari Zone, and go to fight Koga. Koga could be a problem given how tanky his Pokemon are, and we open up against Coughing with Shadow Ball, but it doesn't even do half. He hits us with Sludge and it poisons us, and since he's a ball of gas, Synchronize won't work. We are able to take him down next turn, but the clock is ticking. As Muck comes out, we pull out all the stops, hitting it with whatever we can just to try knocking it down, but as you can see, the poison damage is just causing too much trouble, and while we do take it down, we faint immediately upon the next Coughing's release. When I tell you how heated I got trying this fight, I'm not lying. I ended up trying this about a dozen times, and I don't know why, but I got poisoned almost every single time. The good news is, though, we have the opportunity to do other things before focusing on Koga if we need to. We make our way through Silphco, and after a couple levels here and there, and some vitamins, it's time to fight the rival. Pidgeotta's first, and we use Feint Attack, and it's looking like a 3-shot as it uses Feather Dance. Feint Attack takes it to yellow as it uses Wing Attack, then goes down to another attack. Growlithe is out, and we hit it to yellow as it crits us with Flame Wheel before we take it down. Execute doesn't do much, but it does unfortunately paralyze us before we do end up taking it down. Alakazam can't do much of anything to us, so it just continues to Calm Mind while we hit it with Feint Attack. The turn it goes down, it does set up Reflect, unfortunately, and then last is Blastoise. Blastoise at this level is still only using Water Gun, which is an issue for the rival because it's not doing much. We essentially spend time as it bounces back and forth between Water Gun and Protect to take it down. Not much to cover in regards to the battle, it just took a long time. We do get whittled all the way down to 27 HP before it goes down, but that does win us the battle. After a quick heal up, and knowing that they'll disappear when Giovanni is defeated, we do defeat some of the rockets and gather any vitamins that are left that we can. After that, it's time to fight the man himself. Nidorino goes to half with Shadow Ball and hits a weak Horn attack before going down. Next is Nidoqueen, and we start with Shadow Balling, as pitiful as the damage may be. Nidoqueen does retaliate with Tail Whip, Poison Sting, and Body Slam, but without any secondary effects proccing, we take it down without issue. Kangaskhan starts with a Fake Out to flinch, then Tail Whips us as we hit it with Feint Attack. It lands a rough Mega Punch as we take it to yellow. Thankfully, it only uses Rage the next turn, and despite being a crit, still goes down. Last is Rhyhorn, who we chip with Shadow Ball, gets Scary Faced, and then take down next turn to let us move on. With Silphco out of the way, we can go try Koga again, or we can fight Sabrina. I honestly don't think Sabrina can do much, so we'll test the waters with her. Kadabra's up and goes down to a single attack. Venomoth is out and goes to half from Feint Attack and misses a Supersonic. We do get a low roll on the damage next turn to take it to red as it uses Leech Life. Sabrina heals up and we take it below half with Shadow Ball, then take it down next turn. Mr. Mime goes to red and sets up Barrier, then Sabrina heals up before 2 more Feint Attacks do the job. Last but not least is Alakazam, and, well, he has no way to hurt us. All it does is set up Calm Mind and we take it down in 2 turns. With Saffron City done and over, it's time to head back to Fuchsia. Now the problem is I don't know if we'll be able to take on Koga just yet. Even with the extra levels, I think that his Pokemon will be too bulky, but I guess there is only one way to find out, and I won't bother covering it, but I will show a small montage of clips. Every single battle that we attempt for about 13 battles, we end up getting poisoned by Sludge or hit by Toxic. While Sludge Poison isn't quite as bad as Toxic, it really just makes us lose a little bit slower. At level 55, the Coughing goes down in 1 Feint Attack. Muck goes to half and uses Minimize, and we thankfully still connect to take it down next turn. The next Coughing goes down to a single Feint Attack, and last up is Wheezing, who goes to half, hits us with Sludge, and then goes down to another attack to finally let us move on. With that out of the way, it's finally time to make our way to Cinnabar, and I gotta be honest, Espeon did it better. Umbreon is still a good Pokemon and a much-needed response to the overpowered typing that is Psychic, but it's just not as strong for a Gen 1 run. I do hope you've been enjoying all the different evolutions completing the game, because I have. Though I think this might be the last one for this gen. If I can find a ROM hack that allows me to port further evolutions into the game, that would be great. But without it, I unfortunately can't go any further. I've also started working on a spook lock that will premiere on Halloween, and I'm super excited to show it off. But let's go ahead and see how we do against Blaine. We go to fight Blaine, and he sends out Growlithe, and we need to finish our PP. One moment. Alright, now we go to fight Blaine, and he sends out Growlithe, and we hit it to low yellow with Feint Attack as it responds with a weak Fire Blast, then goes down next turn. Next up is Ponyta, and it's the same process. Feint Attack, Fire Blast, Heal, 2 more Feint Attacks, and it goes down. Rapidash is out, and we hit it with Feint Attack, and we get hit with Fire Blast and Burnt. Synchronize can't do anything to a horse made of literal fire, so we take it down, and when Arcanine comes out, we're at 21 HP. We do outspeed, and we do a decent chunk of damage, but it immediately takes us down. Next attempt, we open with Shadow Ball against Growlithe, and it misses Fire Blast before going down. Ponyta goes to half with one Shadow Ball, then goes down to the next. With Rapidash is where we run into a bit of a problem, but nothing too serious. It just keeps getting knocked into healing range and gets healed back up, allowing it to hit us a bit more before it goes down. When Arcanine comes out, we take it to about half. It hits us with Fire Blast, and the next attack, it finally goes down, and we can move on to the final gym leader. I have to say, now that I've spent multiple runs with it, Synchronize isn't great. It's so situational on if it'll affect the opponent, and while Paralysis is good, if a Poison type poisons you, or a Fire type burns you, there's a good chance that it just won't work. But after denying the Sevi Islands, it's time to face Giovanni and try to nab the last badge. Generally, he's not too much of a problem as long as you can deal neutral damage, but let's see what happens. Rhyhorn is first and immediately goes down to a single feint attack. Nidoqueen goes to low yellow after 2 heal ups and then goes down a few turns later. With that, we actually have to repeat the same process with Nidoking getting hit with so many earthquakes, Pallet Town was feeling them. Dugtrio goes to red and we shrug off yet another earthquake before it goes down. Thankfully, the last Rhyhorn is still slow and goes down to a feint attack, allowing us to win the battle and leave with the last badge. Now it's time for the pre-Elite Four rival fight, and it wasn't until I was midway through editing most of this video that I realized I actually forgot it. But here we go. Pidgeot is first, and we open up with Feint Attack to do about a third as it hits Wing Attack. We swap to Shadow Ball, forgetting it doesn't affect it due to its normal typing as we get hit again. From there, we swap to Feint Attack and take it down a few turns later. Rhyhorn is next, and we do about a fourth with Shadow Ball as it hits us with Stomp, then goes down to Feint Attack. Growlithe goes to yellow, uses Agility, and then Flame Wheels us before going down. Execute thankfully doesn't get a chance to status powder us as it goes down with a single shot. Alakazam only tries to disable our moves not once but twice before it ultimately goes down as well. Last up is Blastoise, and we use Feint Attack to do about a sixth of the damage as it uses Rain Dance. We use Shadow Ball as it hits Water Gun. We keep doing Shadow Ball 1 or 2 more turns, and it continues to use Water Gun before we dig. Swapping to Feint Attack, we take it to low yellow, getting brought all the way down to 18 HP with another Water Gun, before we're finally able to take it down and move on. After that, we do a bit of upgrades as we travel through Victory Road, but in no time at all, it's time to face off against Lorelei, and I gotta admit, I think I know how this is gonna go. But at level 65, we can take Dugong to about half with an Iron Tail and lower its defense. It retaliates with a weak Surf before going down to another Iron Tail that thankfully connects. With Cloyster, we take it to yellow with Feint Attack as it sets up spikes. We use Shadow Ball knowing it'll protect, and then after that we swap to Feint Attack. It does try to protect again, but since it fails, we can take it down. With Slowbro out, it goes to yellow with Feint Attack, sets up Amnesia, and then swap to Shadow Ball to take it out. With Lapras, I basically have to start spamming Iron Tail, and that essentially allows it to wail on us, and we finally do end up taking it down, but we only have 58 HP left. Last up is Jinx, and we take it to red as it hits us with Ice Punch down to 22 HP. From there, Lorelei heals up a couple times, and we do end up playing this tag back and forth a bit before it finally goes down and we can move on. Bruno time. With Onix, we miss Iron Tail as it hits us with Rock Tomb and we connect next turn. We can take it to red with Shadow Ball as Bruno heals up and uses Earthquake before we use Feint Attack, which takes it to red and we get hit with another Earthquake. Then with Hitmonchan, we go to test damage with Shadow Ball and immediately get taken out by Sky Uppercut. Here we go again. At level 75, we can take Onix to red with Feint Attack as we get hit with Rock Tomb. Bruno heals up and we hit it again. Now we know Bruno has been withdrawing a lot, so we swap to Return and it pays off as we hit Hitmonchan pretty hard. Another Return is enough to go ahead and take it out. Hitmonlee is out and we use Return to take it to red and get hit with a pretty soft Brick Break. Thankfully, we can just take it out the next turn. And then it's the biggest threat, Machamp, who comes out as it uses Return, and it misses. We use another Return, and it misses again, and that's the only thing that lets us go ahead and take it out. Onix is back out, and Bruno heals the injured Mon, and we take it to red as it hits Earthquake before going down. And the second Onix is basically the same thing, which allows us to take the victory and move on to the next battle. Oh, this challenge is rough at the end. Next up is Agatha, and we open up with Feint Attack to take the Gengar down in one hit. Next up is Golbat, and we can take it to yellow with Iron Tail as it hits Air Cutter, then goes down. We basically just have to keep using Iron Tail as the Arbok comes out, and it definitely takes a bit of time, but thankfully, we don't get poisoned as it hits us with Sludge Bomb after Sludge Bomb before finally going down. With the next Gengar, we take it to about half with Feint Attack as it puts us to sleep. We get hit with so many Sludge Bombs all the way down to 1 HP before we wake up and take it down. Thankfully, we outspeed the Haunter as well, and we can take it out with 1 Feint Attack, and then we can finally move on. From here, we've been covering a lot of lost attempts, and I'm going to be entirely honest, this video is already probably going to be running long. If you want us to cover lost attempts in the ending battle like these, by all means, let me know. The more I know, the better I can make the videos for you. We actually have to get all the way up to level 85 just to stand a chance, and I think when you see this, you'll understand why it took as long as it did. Gyarados is first, and we open up a Feint Attack to take it to a little above half as it uses Twister. We swap to Return to take it to red as Lance heals up. We can take it back to about half, get hit with Dragon Rage, and then take it back to red before it goes down. Aerodactyl hits us with Wing Attack as we use Iron Tail, then swap to Feint Attack. Dragonite locks itself onto Outrage as we swap between Feint Attack and Return to take it out. We can take the Dragonair to yellow with Feint Attack as it also locks itself into Outrage and it goes down, but we're not looking great. The last Dragonair comes out as we hit it with Feint Attack. It hits us with Thunder Wave. We paralyze it in return. Shedskin gets rid of the paralysis, and then it Hyper Beams us in the face down to 35 HP, but thankfully we can push past the paralysis and are able to take it down. Alright, we only have one more battle until we end this run, so let's give it a shot. Pidgeot's first, and we use Feint Attack to take it to about half as we get hit with Sand Attack. Another Feint Attack takes it down. Next up is Alakazam, and we outspeed it and hit it with Feint Attack for a clean one-shot. Rhydon is up, and we can use Iron Tail to take it to red as it uses Rock Tomb. Green heals up, and we take it down with a critical hit Feint Attack. Next up is Arcanine, and we get hit with Flamethrower, doing a decent amount with Feint Attack. Another Flamethrower hits us, and we take it to red with Feint Attack. Green heals up again as we continue with Feint Attack, and then swap to Return. Green heals again, and is wearing us down with Flamethrowers down to 86 HP before it goes down. When Exeggutor is out, we take it to what has to be a Sliver as it puts us to sleep, and he heals up again. We do wake up after a single Giga Drain, and then we take it to red, and then finally take it out. Blastoise is out and outspeeds us, taking us down to 14 HP with Hydro Pump as we hit it with Feint Attack. Despite Hydro Pump being a lower accuracy move, it does connect with another and takes us down. And you thought I wouldn't cover any other lost attempts. About 5 attempts in, we don't get Sand Attacked right away, as we take it to a little under half with Feint Attack and give Feather Dance before we can take it down next turn. Next is Alakazam, who goes down in one shot. Rhydon goes to yellow with 1 Feint Attack, then goes down to another. Arcanine goes to about half with Feint Attack and retaliates with Flamethrower. We do end up taking it down a bit later, and this time we can take Exeggutor down to red and it actually misses. From there, it is healing and attacking terrain that we sometimes have to do before it goes down with no status powder effects. This time we hit Feint Attack as Blastoise hits Hydro Pump. We take it to red, but the berry heals it out of healing range as it sets up Rain Dance rather than attack, and then we can take it down to finally win the battle. With that, it's one more evolution out of the way, but as I said, for this generation, it's the last. There's only so many generations for this particular game that it can actually handle. I'm looking to see if there may be a ROM hack that'll allow us to import more, so if you happen to know any, let me know in the comments because I am enjoying making these. I'm trying to do an extra video this month, along with another video that released last Friday, Dead by Daylight Jeopardy. Make sure to check that out. That I am hoping to get finished, and as always, if you like the video, even if you didn't like the video, think about hitting the like and subscribe button, because it really does help me out. And until next time, everybody, peace out.